Hey everybody, it is your girl, Miss Cat, founder of the Woke Money Movement. And as you guys know, every single week at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, you can catch us here live on GMT Radio and on all our social media platforms with our Woke in Business podcast. And so this evening, we have a special guest with me this evening. Y'all know how I do. I don't like to introduce folks. I like them to introduce themselves because I don't want to mispronounce your name. I don't want to say your business name wrong, right? Like I just want to let you um do it yourself. So tonight I'm here in the studio by myself, so I decided not to sip on wine so I could, really have a good clear conversation tonight. So no wine tonight, but shout out to the Woke Money Wine who usually holds us
Oh,
down.
I have mine here. I should have.
Got yours chilling in the refrigerator. Look. Look, so at the end of the day tonight, we're going to not have the wine, but we always want to shout out the wine, which is 100% all natural, gluten free, vegan. Shout out to Signature Sips who crafts for us. But tonight we're gonna dive right in. We're gonna get straight to the business. So, special guest, welcome to our podcast. For those that don't know you, why don't you introduce yourself?
First and foremost, big shout out to you, the whole woke money movement. It is an absolutely honor to be here. I've been super excited about this. My name is Amadeo Tolentino. I am the CEO and founder of a company called preneur.ai. So that
Okay.
is who I am and the company I'm representing.
Okay, well, welcome, Preneur. Now,
Thank you.
the thing is, you as the face and CEO, may be new to some. A lot of people don't know your face, right? But Preneur is not new because I have been an advocate. I have been you know what I'm saying, your mockingbird for quite some time.
We got to
Um,
get into that. We got to get into
oh,
that.
we're gonna get into that. But before we get into that though, I
Mhm.
have a really, really honest and I want to start with a just dive in because we were connected through a colleague. Shout out to Jay Tronius who connected us. But before Preneur, you were in music.
Yes.
You didn't think I was gonna bring it
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Oh, you pulling out the cards. You bringing out the crate
Bring it
on me.
So I mean, but I just want to know, like, seriously, what takes you from being in music to building out your own app? Like,
Yeah.
how does that work? You know what
Yeah,
I'm
like
saying?
I'll walk you through so there's a lot of similarities between being a creator and being an app creator. It's the same thing. So if you're a musician, you're a creator. Most musicians love blank canvases, right? So when you are a musician, you're painting with rhythms and sounds and words and ideas, right? So when I started as a musician, um, we needed a way to represent ourselves. So I created a flyer. All right. So we did a flyer, and then the whole internet movement. I don't want to date myself, but it was like right when flyers were like people don't know, like handing out flyer was a thing. JT and I would go and we street team. So and then the internet became a thing where you had to get a website, or I think MySpace was the thing back in the days. You needed a way to make that flyer digitally. So what I did was, just being an ambitious, creative person, I was like, I want to make this flyer on the web somehow, and kind of just started learning on my own because I went to school for fine arts.
Mm,
So like I've always had an artist background, but my mom is a dancer and my dad's an engineer. So I guess I
mm,
always had like the arts and engineering kind of like in me, so to speak, right? But so long story short, took that flyer, put it on the web, and then because I was in a community of musicians, they were all like, "Hey, can you put that flyer on my web as well?" So then that started my career into web development, software engineering. Then I started painting with code, but it's the same. Artistically, it's the same. So that's the connection. They seem like they're worlds apart, but they're really adjacent, you know?
But you said painting with code.
Yes, that's
Like
right.
like for us that are like, "What?" Like, what does
Yeah.
that mean, painting with code?
So I'll explain to you, like, so for example, like if you're thinking about music, you're probably thinking about like a melody or a beat, and
Mhm.
that beat is it's a pattern, right? It's a way of thinking, it's a pattern, and it has like rhythmic tones. But software is the same thing. When you click on screens, those are workflows, right? Like, so if you go from I click here and then that happens and then this other thing happens. So the whole user experience has a rhythm and a pulse to it, right?
Okay.
So it's the same, right? So, but underneath the hood, apps are code, right? So in essence, thinking through those user experience and the design, it feels like more creative than it is anything else. Once you learn the language of music or the language of code, you could just paint. It just feels like you're just painting, right?
Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome. So, and I've never heard it, I'll be honest with you,
yeah,
it seems so, intimidating,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the way that you make it sound is like, hey, I'm just making a beat. I'm just making, using this code to create, what I wanted to do in essence. So, I mean, it kind of takes the intimidation out of, the process. So that's pretty cool.
Let's just it was very intimidating at first. It's very hard at first. Like anything else, there's like a bell curve to learning anything, right? So you're excited. Anything new is excited. Then it's not as exciting. Then you're like, this thing is a little harder than I thought it was. Then it's like, man, I want to give up on this shit. I'm not doing this shit anymore. And then it's like when you hit the rock bottom, and if you continue to go with it, you're like, maybe it's not that hard. And then you come back up on the other side. But it was definitely really, really hard to get to a point where the language wasn't the barrier.
Mm,
It's like music. Once you get to a point where the notes are not the barriers, you can just flow.
mm,
That process took 10 years, by the way, right? So it's a 10-year long journey. So, for those that are like, man, there's no such thing as overnight. So I've just kind of been skill building in the tech side for a long time to get to a point where I could feel fluent and efficient with code to just kind of just get it out. But
yeah.
um, just wanted to say that it was very intimidating at first. Like I didn't just pull up and was like shooting
Oh,
from
here we
three.
go.
I wasn't Steph Curry. I wasn't like
Look.
Bo. It's like
I got you. But um I will definitely say that it's been like just watching what you've created, like it's been amazing. And I guess, the obvious question is like like of all apps and of
yeah.
all things that you could have created and put together, like why? And I know initially it wasn't even called Preneur, right? I know that was a journey, but I'm just saying, like, why that? Like, what tweaked or what clicked in
Mm,
your mind that was like, "Oh, I need to make an app for this?"
yeah, that's a great question that I think about deeply all the time, right? So I think that I got to a point where, if you're building something, you want to start not with the technology, you want to start with the people and the purpose. So
Mhm.
before I started before Preneur, I worked at a big tech company where like things were good, it's all great, but that's not kind of where like my destiny was. I wasn't really fulfilled and happy. So I quit that job and I was like, I wanted to build something that's more meaningful and more impactful, right? So you start with the why, right? Not the money part, but who do I want to affect and who do I want to help? So you start there. And I always knew, like, hey, if I build something, it has to be from a passion and it has to be something that can actually help people, somehow get better, do better, and grow. So that's the part where I attach myself to. So then I started looking around my neighborhood, right? So because I worked in tech, everyone would hit me up, the musicians, the creatives, my moms, my sister, like, I'm trying to get a business online and I can't. And I'm like, yo, there's 101 apps, just connect them. And they would be like, but I can't. But I'm like, yo, it's just right there, just do it. But I can't. So in essence, it was like pulling me in. So you live in this dichotomy world where you're in tech and everyone is super technically advanced. But then when you come home to your neighborhood, everyone is kind of struggling, right? So that's kind of what I fell in love with, helping my people just kind of
Wow.
get a digital representation and helping them connect. So that love kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you follow the love, it gets hard, but you keep going. That's where I kind of like, that's what led me to preneur.
That
Oh,
I
we
mean,
weren't preneur, but we were like before
I,
preneur.
trust me, I know because I know. But I feel that, and that's why, and that's like, man, like, and the crazy thing is that, like, you don't realize, like for me
Mhm.
personally, like I don't do code, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, but I can build websites, I can do funnels, I do automations, a lot of stuff that, just come naturally in second nature. And so when people hit me up, hey, I need a Google form, I'm like, shoot, all you gotta do is control alt delete, like it's there, like what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? But you never realize, like, because it's so second nature, how technology, how not advanced people are. So to have built a platform to ease that burden for
Yeah.
our people, like, I don't think people, like, even now it's just clicking inside of me how powerful that is, because it's taking the person that's not so tech savvy and giving them something that they can feel comfortable with. So kudos, man. Like, that's
Yeah.
dope. That's real dope.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, you don't realize that, but like every time you knowledge build, like you take a step up in the rank, like a ladder, right? You don't realize there's like a million people just below your ladder where you were before. And as you
Fact.
climb up the ladder, there's people that are just below you, right? And I feel like it's kind of like our responsibility to help everyone level up, right? Because, right, you want to give back. That's kind of my model, right? Like, how do you give back? If you level up, it's lonely, right? You want
Fact.
everybody to
Big
come up.
fact.
You know what I
Big
mean? Like,
fact.
I just want everybody to kind of level up with you. So that's kind of like another reason why I think, just being technical and coming back down. But also, I'm so in love with like I call it the bottom billion. Our people were like the bottom. There's more people on the bottom. Like if you look at like right now, wealth is distributed in the pyramid, right? Like the bottom, there's more people in the bottom than there are at the top, right?
Fact.
Let's
Mm,
invert it, right? Let's
yes.
empower the people at the bottom to like
Yes.
that's how we actually create economic upward mobility. You know what I mean? So it's
Well,
exciting.
I mean, I just want to say, like, for real, kudos to people like you, who, like I said, just with an app, like, just giving people access to technology. That's just a phenomenal thing. And like you said, this ain't something that you built overnight. This ain't something that you just woke up and slapped it together. Like you said, 10 years, or is it 10 years in the making, in essence, or
The skill building, it took me 10
gotcha?
years to get to a point where it's taken me 4 years, right? So it's like
Yes,
it took me 10 years to get to the start line. So we talk about like how long it actually takes to build any sort of success, especially in tech. You have to have like this deep technical knowledge, understand business. There's all these different disciplines that go into like user experience, right? You're talking about the application, the team building, the company building. There's many different disciplines. And in your mind, when you interface with products, it seems so easy. It's like, I could build this.
yep, yep.
And then you're like, it's like it's gonna take me two hours to mow my front lawn, 5 hours. And I'm sitting there like this shit is taking all day. Yeah.
So, I mean, so speaking of, let's talk about the progression of
Yeah.
preneur, because if I'm not mistaken, I think I was one of the very first users. So I always pride myself of being one of the pioneers of, of the
Yeah.
because it was kinda like, initially, it was kinda like dial-up, you know what I'm saying? We would log in, it was like boop, 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 beep, and then I'll be like, "Amadeo, the screen just went black. I don't know what's going
By the
on."
way, that still goes on every now and then. You
So
know,
let's
yeah,
talk about the
yes.
progression.
So here's the beauty of building an application, right? So the the beauty about building an app is because you can change it on the fly. You
Mhm.
don't have to figure out all the parts. But before that, let's just take a giant step backwards, right? So when you're building a business, you're trying to guess in the future. You're trying to say, like, okay, I believe in the future, everyone's going to need to have better digital presence, right?
Yep.
So you start with this broad statement. So oftentimes what we do is called analysis paralysis. We don't start because we overthink. You're right. So in tech, it's the perfect game where you're like, I don't need a name. I just need a human that I can talk to and be like, how can I solve your problem?
Mm.
Even if you solve that problem manually, even if it's like, yo, let me do your spreadsheets for you, I am learning. So when we met, it was at the point where we didn't want the branding to get in the way of the problem that we're solving. Because if
Yes.
I didn't get to you, I would not get to preneur. So I literally just called it Snap Call because it just came to mind because it was a texting app. It was like I time boxed I'm like, I'm gonna give this 5 minutes because I'm gonna change this later. And as a matter of fact, a lot of companies like Google's Alphabet Inc. You'll find all of these companies. We're still Snap Call Inc. Like
Got you.
DBA is preneur. So you could do that, right? So just start, like
Yeah.
just fail.
Wait,
Because you
hold on. Let me just make sure for the people that's listening in the back, let's pause real quick. So when because I'm sure for those that are listening and watching, they're gonna Google preneur. Y'all gonna preneur AI. Y'all gonna Google it. Y'all gonna see where they are today. But I want y'all to listen very carefully what this man has said. First of all, 4 years ago, he started the development, but 10 years ago, he had to get the knowledge to even be able to start the development. But the most important thing that I think that you said was just start.
start.
Like, just start. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't, it was like, hey, I'm going to just get a name. I'm going to just get with it. Like,
Didn't care about social media, didn't care about like just start like all that extra noise. So the point in the beginning is that you're trying to reduce signal to noise. There's so much noise like
yeah.
in the world, like social, like I just turn off social media. You know how I am. I'm like, I'm barely on social media. Till this day. I turn
Fact.
off all the noise and I was like, I need 10 people that I can help. And I'm like, I'm gonna text these people, and their voice is the only voice that matters. I don't care about anyone else's voice. And I'm just gonna figure out how I can help them. Because if I can do that, they're gonna get me to the next point, and you're gonna go to the next point. But oftentimes we're like afraid to fail, but failure is how you get better. So
Fact.
just start failing as quickly as possible because you're gonna learn so much, right? So that's what we
Yeah.
did.
So, I know Brian didn't have an opportunity, to tap
Yes,
in with us, but how I know that you have Brian and a few other people that
yes,
are connected. How did that come about? Like,
yes.
having them connected with Preneur.
Yeah, so Brian and I were connected through a mutual friend called ML Carr, which was the Celtics coach.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
yeah, crazy. Brian went to Newton North, and I went to Brookline High, which is like we're like rivals high schools in Boston. It's a whole different story, but Brian's dad played in the NBA.
Oh,
Jojo White, he was like one of the greatest Celtics players. A lot of people don't know this, right? Jojo White played with ML Carr, and ML Carr and I like met at like a tech conference. You know, bumped into him, told him what I was building. It wasn't even I don't even know if it was Snapcall at that point. It was more like I wanted to build something, and I told him the people that I wanted to help, and we just started building a natural relationship. And he was like, "I got a guy for you," you know what I mean? And it was like, I'm like, "Who?" He's like,
mhm.
"I'm gonna connect you with Brian White," you know what I mean? Jumped on the call with Brian White. We immediately hit it off. He's like a brother to me. He's been like in it, and like we've just been like in it since day one. He's one of the first people that actually believed in what I was building, and just started using the product way before
Facts.
before it
Facts.
even was a product. You know what I mean? Like Ryan jumped on it like right away, and that kind of like which was like a
Facts.
big a
Mhm.
big motivator for me to keep going.
Awesome, awesome. Well, that's good to have, other people that support the vision and just support what you have going on. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And just, kudos to that. Kudos to that. And so now, we're talking about the progression. I know that you're not 100%, where
sure.
you want to be, right? But let's just talk about like some of the because I know now, like when you log into the platform, there's celebrities, there's this. So where are we at now with Preneur? What tell us about the progression from Snap Call now to Preneur AI?
So if we go back to the beginning, we said we started a company because we wanted to understand our why. Why did we start a company, right? It's not to make money, right? That's the result. It's to help individuals, business owners succeed, period, right? So if we think about that, right, the name preneur became a natural progression of the individuals that we were helping were entrepreneurs.
Mm,
But we wanted to remix and take the word entrepreneur and make it our own. So I look at people like yourself, my mom, my sisters got multiple hustles, they're nonstop, they're going. Those were preneurs, they're self-starters, right?
yes.
Always like you give them nothing and they turn nothing into something, right? So those are the people that we wanted to represent. So when we got the preneur, I was like, I could rest because I have you when you define your purpose and who you're serving, you have no competition, right?
Wow.
Like, because no one's gonna compete with you because you're just focused on the individual, right? Because my job is to serve you better than anyone else can, right? And if I could do that, then I win. I'm not worried about everyone else, right? So getting to preneur was like a natural progression in the branding. So in essence, what we did was like, let's create an identity brand, and now we can create a lifestyle business around the individual. We're gonna go beyond an application. We have the apparels and the wristbands and the clothing and the tapping, because we're essentially celebrating that individual as an entrepreneur, right? So that's kind of like where we are today. Along the way, by talking to people like yourself and many other people, but lots like you that are like, hey, it would be good if the app did this. So in
Mm,
essence, because we're serving you, you drove the vision of the product, right?
yeah.
Like when you show up with a purpose to serve your customers, they're going to tell you exactly what they need for you to win. And if you turn off all the noise and you just listen to your customers, they'll just tell you, if you just make this, it'll be better. We just move that there. And if you do this, it'll be better. So that's kind of like the journey that we've been on. It's been organically, it feels organic in a way where we're just kind of just getting up and serving people every day. So what you see now, we have an all-in-one platform. The crazy thing that we saw before was like people were using seven, five, six different apps to do stuff, and it was like all over the place, and their data was fragmented. So we've unified a lot of that stuff. And what I'm most proud about is the collaboration hub that we kicked off. We could talk about that later, a little bit
Yes.
later. You know,
Yes.
but our community is like we have a really tight community. Like I want to talk to like the celebrities that we have on the platform. If you do good work and you're good people,
Good stuff will come.
connections. It's not like it ain't
Yeah.
no trick. It ain't no. There's no secret here. It's just consistency and patience. Just do good work. They'll just come. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. So, with that being said, like like I said, I'm just so proud of just watching the progress. Like when you log in now, like I say, you see different icons, different celebrities, using the app. So it makes you feel like, oh my God, like you just feel more connected to these people than being on like Facebook or following them on Instagram. Now it's like all part of this, this hub, this big picture. So I'm just proud of what you have put together for sure. But what you got to say? Come on.
No, no, I was gonna say like I think a lot about the user experience on our product, and so our vision now is to empower 10 million entrepreneurs in the next 5 years to earn additional income through their phone entrepreneur, right? So I think about all the different products that are out there, especially products like social media products, and those products sometimes like when you get off those products never really feel good about yourself. You're like, there's this like it just the product itself doesn't feel good. I was like on the gram the other day and I'm like scrolling. It's like, do your tax now. And you scroll and it's just like, this is how you make $1 million. I'm like, what the? Some people dancing and you scroll, you're like, I can't, you know,
It's
um,
like you said, it's noisy. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
noisy. Yeah.
It's a
So
lot of noise.
so my hopes is to build this community of entrepreneurs that are supporting each other. That's the bigger goal vision. It's essentially like the product, the app is cool, the icons are cool, but the product is the preneurs themselves. people like you are the product. Like, so somebody else comes in to preneur and connects with you and can build with you. To me, that's gratifying because you are the product. We're just like the thing around you. Like, we're like we hope to be invisible, like this invisible.
Yeah.
So I want to just say, like, yeah, you log in the app, you see all this cool stuff, but the people in there are the product. So we're really excited about building that hub, and adding features around helping individuals connect more and build businesses and share economy and share success.
And that's just so dope. And that's just what woke money, is all about, building your own ecosystem and, all that great stuff. So I just want to switch gears for a moment. Look, just for a quick moment, because at the end of the day, now have the opportunity to say this publicly, that I want to thank you, because I don't think it's but a handful of people that know that you were with me and you walked me through step by step woke money. Like, I don't think, like, so for
I was
those
I was a preneur. My job was to serve you. That's what I was doing.
but what I'm saying is, look, this is the reality of the situation. Like, there would be no woke money had it not been for our planning, developing, and it's so funny. It's so funny because I'll be like, "What you think about this? What you think about the logo? What you think about the name?" Like, and you're like, "Cat." So, like, I finally publicly
Yeah.
get to thank you, because, like I said, there would be no woke money if it had not been, for our collaboration. I mean, the logo, the name, the everything
I
from
want to just make sure that I just set the right context. You were already heading there. So, like, I just nudged you. You're forced. You already, like, I don't want to make it seem like you weren't moving. You're like one of the most motivated person I know on the planet. You take a percent and you turn it to 90%, right? So you already on the way. So I would just say, like, I think this is okay. And then 2 days later, you'd come back with like 4 different versions. I'm like, whoa. So, like, you just kind of run with stuff. So you got to give yourself credit on that. I just, again, you were moving. I just kind of just said, like, hey, let me nudge you this way and that way. Because sometimes what happens is when you're so deep in your own stuff, it's actually a blessing to have someone that's on the outside.
facts.
Because
Facts.
because you don't see your blind spots.
Facts. You're right.
I mean, like, so I keep people around me that are like not so deep in my day to day, because they'll just give it to me in the way that a stranger would see it, and that's kind of like I play that role for you. I was just like looking at your blind side, but you were driving the bus the whole time. So I was just
I I just want to say thank you, because like I said, from inception, even, I remember the initial name that I was trying to, come, you were like, "No, let's do this. What about woke? What about?" So I was like, "Man, I just have to give you kudos, like, publicly,
yeah,
because woke money really, in essence, was, established by
our
by
friendship.
just the collaboration with Amadeo." So,
That's
uh,
good.
want to say thank you for that. So, back to preneur though, like, I think you're doing phenomenal things. Is there anything noteworthy or anything, like, coming up, or for those that never seen the app, describe, the features,
Yeah,
what they can look forward to?
exactly. So the way we like to position Preneur is it's a simple all-in-one tool that allows you to establish a digital presence really quickly. So if you have an idea or a product or service that you want to sell, essentially what ends up happening is you go get a domain name. That's a weekend, and then a weekend later you got to go get Wix. And maybe that's 3 weekends later, and then 4 weekends later you're looking for templates and stuff like that, right? So we said, scratch that. You download the app, and in no time, you have a streamlined digital presence where you can, like, hey, this is what I do. You can list your products and service. But most websites, just having a website's not good enough. You need to capture the person's information, and you need to establish a relationship. And we looked closely at, like, what's the best way to establish a relationship? text message, right? Because
Yeah.
people read 100% of the text. So
Yeah.
we added text into the platform because we were like, relationship is the key. It's the differentiator for businesses in 2024 and beyond, right? Because you're a tax consultant. There's 100 other tax consultants.
Facts.
What's
Facts.
what's the difference? It ain't the game. You're not gonna tell me like fill out this form versus that. It ain't the game y'all spin. I'm gonna go with you because of your personality, who you are as an individual and as a person. And the best way to communicate that is through written or spoken conversation, right? So
Yeah.
like when you text your customers, it feels good. They get the message, they see you. So we added that into the platform, right? So you have a way to capture contact, have a digital representation, and then connect with those individuals over text and transact with them. When you do that, then you have your database. You own your data. Here's Joe. How many times we talk? How many times we call? Here's all the products and services that he bought from me. And now you understand who that individual is. And there's so much power in knowing your customer base and connecting with them. So that's kind of like what the product is. That's a long-winded version of what I
No,
was like
that's
20
good.
days later. I was like,
No, it's all good. But I think what's like really really powerful about this is what people don't understand is like you on these platforms and you
yeah,
have these followers,
yeah,
but they block you from communicating with all of them. Let's be real, because I have like 5,000 followers. It's like two people on this live stream, right? So
yeah,
if I was able to blast out or connect with all of my people simultaneously, I would have more engagement. I would have more interaction. So these followers and people that you think you're connected to on these other platforms, you're really not. So I think that the beauty of preneur is like if I want to send a blast to 5,000 people that's
yeah.
in my database, like I can do that. And I think
Yeah,
that
let's talk about that a little bit just so people understand. Because I think a lot of people just don't understand how social media works.
yeah.
Fundamentally, the product is designed to sell ads. They're
Mm,
not, the whole thing is about selling ads. It's not about pushing your business, right? So they want to keep you in this wall garden. So the more you post, the more eyeballs you get to ads, right? But in essence, you don't own your customers' information. I always tell people like go on Instagram, send a message to all the females who live in Texas. You can't.
you can't.
Like send a message to all the females. You can't.
Matter
Um
of fact, hold on. If you have too many followers and you send too many messages, they will block you.
exactly,
Actually, they will block you from doing that.
exactly. So, but it has a good purpose though. So I look at it as like, it's a good place. It's like a mall, right? It's a good place where everybody's walking around. You ever
Mm,
like, you go to the mall, like there's like buffet food everywhere, people like giving out, like it's a good place to get people into your store, into what you're doing. Once they come into what you're doing, that's when you want to capture. You want to know the first name, last name, where they live, their birthday, if you can get it right, because that's going to allow you to establish a better relationship. So you're a funnel person. It's good for top of funnel. All that means is like, hey, this is what I do. If you really want to connect with me, give me your contacts and we can build a relationship. It's great for that. It's not good for building that one-to-one personalized relationship. It has its purpose. Second, the algorithms control the feed, right? So the
mm,
feeds are controlled by algorithms. So some people think that it's chronologically ordered, meaning I post, you post, then post. No, the feed is trying to figure out what post can I put in front of you to sell you an ad. So if you notice, the first post, the second post is an ad, three posts, the fifth post is an ad, right? So there's an
wow.
algorithm that
That,
studies how you click. If you can click on the ad and make the advertisers money, the algorithm adjusts itself, right? So there's a big machine learning behind the scenes. Just for fun, just look at it. Your second post is always going to be an ad. Your fifth post is going to be an ad. I think the
wow.
seventh post is an ad. So
Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, that just further, lets people know like you need to get on something like Preneur, so that way when you want to access your contacts for real, you don't have to spend ads and do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a heavy thing that people need to understand.
oh, and
Um,
fun fact. so we're like, I'm gonna shout this out loud. You and I are gonna do a woke money course where we're gonna go deep into like social media algorithms, what algorithms mean. Like,
Okay.
we don't have to get into like deep computing, but it's good for people to understand like basic, like just what are algorithms and how are they doing this? Because it's good to learn. It's like you're using this thing every day. So
In
like
fact,
we'll work on that. Yeah.
okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So, with that being said,
Yeah.
talking about collaborating, right?
Yes.
Let's bring it all full circle. So, for everybody that knows, we have our wine brand that we just launched. And so one thing, thank you. One
Yeah.
thing that I was struggling with, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I would pull up to events and I would call myself vending with the wine and things of that nature. But every time they'll be like, where can I get this? How can I get this? And I'm like, man, I don't want to build out no e-commerce. I don't feel like doing all that. You know what I'm saying? So, I went over to my friends at Preneur, and basically within, a couple of not even minutes, you just start putting your items on the platform, and now you have an ability to sell products nationwide, right?
Yeah.
But now there's a new feature. So tell us about the new feature that you have added.
There's always a reason first, right? For the feature. So the reason why we started a collaboration, the feature's called Collaboration Hub, but let's just take a giant step back. So one of the problems that I saw in social media is that we're all little dots trying to get everyone's attention, right? Like, we're
Mm,
not connected, right? Like, we're not like a spider web, right? So like we're not like a strong network, especially within the Black community. We're just dots. Even though we live next to each other, we are in proximity of each other. And I'm like, we don't support each other within our neighborhood, right? But we'll go on IG and try to sell products and services. So I thought that was like fundamentally wrong because we're such a strong community and a strong network, right? And the idea started off like just in a conversation. Wouldn't it be great if I had a product or service that you would help me sell it? And then I give you a cut, and then we could do the same. Sounds simple in principle, but that actually reinforces our community where we could share our economy. It's like shared economy within a community, right? And that's got me really excited. And Brian and I had a lot of conversation, and Brian loves this. He calls it street teaming. He's a big inspirational influence around this as well. But now in the application, we're starting with products. If you have a product, right, and you want people in your community to help you push that product, essentially what they do is they'll give you distribution, right, and syndication. We think the problem is promotion. If the problem was promotion, then we wouldn't. Instagram would be killing it because there's people promoting all day nonstop on that
yep,
platform.
yep.
The real problem is distribution, meaning if someone buys your product and they love your product, they're your best salesperson.
Facts. You're right.
Like,
Right.
let them go be your evangelist and
Mhm.
compensate. You're paying.
Yes.
It's good for them. It's good for you. They're excited. You know what I mean? And we got a lot of people that are excited to help us push our product. So what they do, they go on IG and they put fire emoji, and that shit is just like, like it's cool when you put fire emoji back, and at the end of the day, we're like net zero. You know, a
You're
lot of fires got put out.
for real. Nah, but I feel you, and that's why this is just so it's so dope,
Yeah,
Amadeo. Like, this is so genius, the collaboration, because I know that it's a lot of people that would like be like, yeah, I love to help you, but I need a little, some or whatever. And I mean, to be honest with you, I've always been an advocate for referrals. Like, I'm like, if
yeah,
you sending me business, like, I just feel compelled to break you off. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So in essence, this gives you an opportunity, like
yeah,
you said, to have people spreading the words, spreading what you got going on. And I think the most best thing about it is everything is streamlined through the app.
sure, yeah.
So tell us about that, because
exactly. So on a technical level, like let's say you have an item for $10 or $1 or $100, you can invite me, and then you could slide the slider to be like, yo, I'm a day, I'm gonna give you 20%, 10%, 50% of that. So it's like sharing an Uber ride. We're gonna split a
Yep.
ride, right?
Yep.
And then I accept the collaboration, and your product with the beautiful picture and description and all the work that you did shows up on my store. And all I have to do is distribute that product, right? Naturally, along with my products and service. And it's that easy. And if the sale happens on mypreneur, the money auto magically ends up on my account and it ends up on your account. And there's no, just no dispute. There's no, did you get the
Check me
sale? Cash
out.
out me later. Like,
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
whose store analytics are we checking? And is it your store or is it my store? We just kind of eliminated all that, keep it transparent up front, and then we kind of actually just promoting that collaboration. So it's transparent.
I mean, that's so dope. So for those that are listening and watching, we do have an opportunity for collaboration through Preneur, where basically you can become a wine ambassador. So there are many people who have savored the woke money wine and they're like, yo, like, I love this, and I just was like, yo, this would be a perfect opportunity for us to be able to give people the option, like, hey, if you want to help us push this, like, we'll give you a little kickback, so you can sell it and make some money, you know what I'm saying? I mean, not sample it. I mean, savor it, sample it, and make money. That's what I meant to say. But nonetheless, all of that is available and it's done through Preneur. Like, and you make it so easy and just so simple. So we're getting to the end of the line. So I just want to make sure that you have an opportunity to let people know how to find you, how to stay connected, if there's anything coming up, anything that you need us to know, this will be your time to let us know.
So I want to just thank you so much for this opportunity. Just to be here to present Preneur with you has been incredible. You guys could just search Preneur, preneur.ai in the App Store, or just search preneur.ai on IG. Connect with me personally if you want to learn more. I'm super responsive. I get back to as many people as I can. I'm here to help everyone build and grow together. So thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to growing and building with everyone, and especially woke money. So
Well, thank you so much for, just being here. And like I said, just publicly yet again, thank you for your contribution
of
to
course,
woke money and helping us get things established. Of course, we in it to win it. So what we'll do is we'll end off with our woke money / preneur commercial. But before I do that, let me just also let everybody know we do have the Woke Money Conference coming up on June 8th. Make sure that you guys get your tickets. They're on early bird special, so you can go to wokemoney.org to get those tickets. We're going to have panel discussions. We're going to have workshops. We're going to have vendors. It's going to be a day that you don't want to miss. So go to wokemoney.org to get more information and just to stay in the know. But Amadeo, thank you so much for being here tonight. And
I'll say for the woke money conference,
oh,
Preneurs gonna offer free bands to everybody that come. That's on me. Okay.
okay,
So
okay. Look,
just
so
that's it. So you make sure you go to the conference, pull up. This will be on Preneur on the house. Yeah.
awesome, awesome. So preneur bands for everybody. Look, look, we all got our bands. We doing our preneur
Everybody,
thing. Oh,
everybody that
and look, and so speaking of bands, for those that like, what's the band?
Yeah,
So
random. Yeah, so this can allow you to basically you put it on your wrist, and if you program your Preneur app to the wristband, and when you're out and about, people just tap your wristband with their phone, and your Preneur business profile will pop up. If you got products and services, you capture contact, you can close them on the spot. Essentially, if you're a closer, tap, close, and be gone. That's it.
he said, tap, close, and be gone. Right. So there you have it. So make sure that you stay connected to wokemoney.org wokemoney.org. Make sure that you stay connected with preneur.ai. And that's it for tonight. Make sure that you join us every single Monday from at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Shout out to GMT Radio. Shout out to Flume TV. And that's all we got for you this evening. Have a good one.
Peace.